Consistency. If you don't have consistency, you will not be able to build any type of business. You should just go get a job. Consistency and discipline is key because you're not always going to have good days. I don't always have good days in my cleaning business. I'm sure you don't always have good days either. There's always things. So you just have to learn how to go with the flow. Some days you're going to have great days and you're going to feel on top of the world. It's like that entrepreneurial high. Someday you're going to have low days and you're going to want to quit. We all go through it. Just know you just need to stay the course because the next day is going to be better. It always is,
Yeah.
right? You sleep on it 24 hours later. It always is. And you always need to remember you just need to keep getting back up because they're not failures. They're just little bumps in the road.
Welcome to the Cleaning Journey podcast, where we talk about the real stories behind building cleaning businesses that actually work. I'm your host, Misael Avalos. I started my business back in 2018 from scratch, and I built it into a 7-figure cleaning company. Now I sit down with other cleaning business owners to share their wins, their losses, their struggles, and their experiences that have helped them grow. Whether you're just getting started or you're already scaling, this is your place to learn, get inspired, and also level up your business and life. Let's jump in.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. You might be able to hear it, my accent, as I start talking. I started my own cleaning company. I was a single mother. At the time, my son was little and I needed extra money. So I was pretty scrappy. I picked up a mop, I put a caddy together and I found some clients and that's how I started. So I started 100% by myself. I did the traditional thing. I hired helpers that I paid cash by the day. We've probably all done that in our business. And then I had employees that wanted to be paid under the table, but they would be paid weekly. So then I did that thing. I moved the business from my garage to an office. And I found that I was the most motivated person in the room at all times. None of my staff would ever clean as good as I did. I always tell everyone that when you clean 100%, you're lucky if you get your staff to clean at 95%. So as we grew, my husband became involved. We got an office. We got people finally on W-2, which is, at least in the state of Massachusetts, that's how you're supposed to pay them. Sometimes people will pay 1099, and that may not always be the case in misclassifying workers. So we did the right thing from the beginning, had a payroll, the whole 9 yards, but I was still in the field cleaning. So I was cleaning. I have been known to clean 4 to 5 houses solo by myself. And, well, the reason why I don't clean anymore is because I don't want to clean anymore and my business is too big. But if I back it up 7, 8 years, I was still cleaning and my back didn't want me to be cleaning anymore. So I had a back injury and one day I woke up in the morning, couldn't get out of bed. And I had to immediately teach my staff how to clean without me. So that's a true story. I always tell everyone that I coach, 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to take yourself out of the field first or the field is going to take you out, which is what happened to me. So today, it's like I said, I started from zero. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a trust fund. I didn't have a loan or anything like that. I built it from the ground up. And currently we're at just hovering over 850,000 a year. We also have a power washing business as well. So Made Right Cleaning is our interior cleaning business, our commercial business. And then in the warmer months in Boston, which is like April through November, we power wash exterior. So it's been kind of cool having both of them because we don't have to just rely on interior house cleaning because we find that is largely based on two income households. Usually they need to have it to be able to afford the cleaning because cleaning is a luxury. So that's how we started and here we are today.
That's amazing. You went through pretty much the hard trenches from the beginning, right? You started it off, you started paying people with cash. I did that for quite some time too until I realized, okay, I need to play the real game, right? I need to do
Right.
this the right way and then getting into the payroll and all of that stuff. Now, when you did the cleaning, how many years or how much time were you doing the cleaning in your
So
business?
clean solo off and on. I also was a real estate agent at the same time, believe it or not. And I cleaned solo, I don't know. I want to say I cleaned solo probably like 10 years. It wasn't until 2018 where I said, you know what? I'm going to scale this business and I'm going to learn how to hire real employees.
So that's when you realized, "Hey, I gotta hire someone because my back is just not doing well. I'm not." You can't you do more service, right? Yeah.
Correct. You can only do so many physically yourself. I want to say, I don't know, I mean, 10, 15 houses a week max by yourself. But like after a while, like you're dead. You're dead
Yeah.
tired.
Your time is capped and you're not able to serve more. What was the hardest part about letting go of the field work?
I don't want to say so. Transitioning from a solo person to bringing people in, training them, but also how to introduce them to your clients because your clients are so used to seeing you.
Yeah.
Especially, your older clientele, they're home and whatnot. So they get nervous when you're bringing someone else in. So you have to transition them in very gently. You can't just abruptly say, okay, I've hired someone, Trisha's going to be coming today. They're going to make, wait, what? Who's Trisha? So I would take them with me. I'd clean with them for a few months and then I would slowly transition. Oh, I'm not able to make it today. I'm across town at another home, but Trisha's going to come. That was really essential because as a solo cleaner, you've built a relationship with the client. The client hired you, and
Yeah.
that's a very personal thing. So that can be difficult I founded Sisters Who Scale as a coaching company for cleaning business owners. And I have seen some of my clients do it incorrectly. They make a big deal of it and they say, okay, my business is growing. I've hired, and all that signals to the client is there's major changes coming and people resist the change. And I have seen them lose clients immediately because they've done it the wrong way. That has to be done correctly. And that was hard in the beginning.
So that's a great point. It really is a great point. What we don't want to do is to surprise the client just out of the blue, right? There is a process that needs to be in place so it's a smooth transition, right? Number one thing we don't want to think that we don't want to be scared that our clients are going to leave us if we don't do the cleaning, right?
Sure.
Because then we're going to do everything out of fear. But talk to us about the proper way that you teach for cleaners to get out of the cleaning smoothly, but transition their clients into having a new cleaner.
So I find that every cleaning business owner has a struggle with letting go of that cleaner mindset, right? So
Yeah.
they don't know how to transition from, hey, I'm a cleaner to, hey, I'm a business owner. And you have to have two different hats. That's a huge struggle with people because they think no one's going to clean the houses like me. No one's going to treat my clients like me. And they really struggle with it on the personal end. And it's because most cleaners or, solo cleaners, they start with wanting to help people. They have servants' hearts. They don't start from, hey, I'm going to build a business around this and make a lot of money and know my profit margins. They just want to go help people. They want to make extra money. They want to have something flexible that they can do in between, their kids having to be picked up and stuff like that. So it starts as sort of like a side hustle in the beginning. And then they struggle when they finally decide, you know what, I'm tired. I want to grow the business. I want to double, triple the income. It starts with them not knowing how to let go of that I'm just a cleaner mentality. And they struggle with the mindset and becoming a boss, really.
So what mindset shift helped you move away from being a worker to an owner?
So I've had other businesses way back in the day, a long time ago. I was a fitness competitor. I was a national fitness competitor. So really young, I learned about mindset and focus and discipline and things like that. So I was able to transition that same thought process into other businesses. Before I had my cleaning company, I had a children's toy and book company that we sold books all around the country and we did trade shows and things like that. So I've always kind of had that very scrappy, hey, I'm going to go full throttle 100% and I'm going to figure everything out on my own. I mean, I may be a little bit different, but I've always had belief in myself because I was in the gym and I was an athlete when I was young. So I think that really helped me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's say, hey, because there's a lot, like you said, you're built different, right? I think we're all built in a certain way where we have certain capacities, certain I mean, And then we learn things along the way, right? Either go to a personal development and then you grow in your mindset of business and personality and communication, right? There's a lot of things that we can learn along the way. But what is that one mindset that could help someone that is stuck in the mindset of I need to clean. I'm the one that needs to do the cleaning or not. This is not going to work, right? Because you know, um, I know that a lot of people stay stuck in the cleaning because they're scared that their clients are going to leave them, right? They're scared of trusting other people to go into their clients' homes. So I want to talk to that one business owner that needs that mindset shift to be able to move away from the worker to the owner. What are a few things that they need to start implementing to be able to get there?
This episode is sponsored by Jobber, a CRM I personally use to scale and grow my cleaning business. If you're tired of juggling spreadsheets, messages, and reminders, Jobber helps you organize it all in one place. You can quote jobs, schedule your team, invoice clients, and even get paid, all from your phone or your laptop. It's not just software, it's what allows me and my team to stay efficient and organized every single day. So if you're ready to get your business looking and running like a pro, check out Jobber by using the link in the description down below. Trust me, it would change the way you do business.
So you and I know that the only way to truly scale is to learn how to hire people and learn how to manage people. In my opinion, that's the hardest thing about this whole industry or any industry. Managing people
I agree.
can be really tough. What I see when I coach people, a lot of owners come to me burned out. So they're physically tired. They've taken on as much as they possibly can. And there's a lot of pain there. They're missing family events. They're working till 11, 12 at night. So when there's that instance, I think that they're ready. In the beginning, when people start cleaning businesses, it's fun. It's cool. You can handle this. You feel free, independent. But over time, when they start adding more accounts, they get burned out because they're wearing all the hats. So I think at that, when people are ready, some people are not ready yet to scale their businesses, right? But when they're ready, there's so much pain around that they're willing to just be like, what do I need to do? Like they're much more receptive when they're closer to burnout than when they're not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
years ago, I wouldn't have listened as a solo cleaner. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it myself. I don't need to read a book. I don't need to watch a podcast. I don't need to do anything. But as more problems ended up in my lap, I was like, you know what? I need help.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. It's definitely one of the hardest things in the cleaning business, a service-based business, is people, right? I truly believe after you've been in business for quite some time and your reputation online is good, right? You get good reviews, you do good business, people come back to you, you get into this snowball effect of
Right.
people coming back, using your services, online, so your reputation is going great. You'll have a good business. But the biggest challenge is the people. And I agree with you. Gotta have a good hiring funnel to be able to bring the right people into your business. And one big thing is you do not want to make decisions out of an emotional, out of your gut. This is my take in it. I let my systems do the hiring. I let my systems do the firing, because when we make decisions out of our gut, out of emotion, we allow the wrong people to continue to stay with us, and then it just becomes a headache. I mean, that has bit me in the behind so much, because I've, again, an owner that's a man, and there's a lot of women, and I I'm sensitive. So if a woman is crying in front of me,
Yeah, you don't know
it's
what to do.
I don't know what to do. It's so hard. I'm just like you said, we have a servant's heart. We just want to help. It was a point where I had an office coordinator at the time, the best office coordinator. I'm still friends with her. She moved because her husband's in the military. But anyways, she was like, Misa, you are not allowed to fire anymore, because the people that need to be fired are still here. Like, they just get in your head. So what I'm trying to say is we do not want to be that. We don't want to make decisions on hiring or firing based off of emotion. We want to let our systems do the hiring, our systems do the firing. That's why having a good hiring funnel will create a good onboarding
Right.
experience. I would like to hear your input on that because I feel that because we do have such a challenge hiring people, what are those things that you focus on during your hiring process that transition to making sure that the people that are onboarding are the right fit?
So I early on for my company, and then some companies do it different. I have found for my company, I like to hire people with some sort of experience, whether it be, definitely obviously the bulk of our cleaning side is residential with some commercial at night. So I look for if they've had cleaning experience at another company. I look for if they've been a CNA, a personal care attendant. Usually those people have a servant's heart. They like helping people. So anything like that is what I look for. We've done much better when we've hired people with cleaning experience and they come off training a lot faster. So we have hired a couple. We've gotten lucky with a couple people that didn't have any formal cleaning experience, but it takes longer. It takes 2, 3 weeks longer to train them where we're at. We don't have that type of time. We need them trained in a week. They need to get off training pay so they can get tips and bonuses, go out on a team of two because the longer the training is, the higher your labor is, as you know. And we just don't, we can't do that anymore. So we hire people that have experience. We hire people that have cars, that have driver's licenses. A lot of our staff likes to drive their own cars. I also find that when they have cars, you can switch teams or if someone calls out, you have maximum flexibility like that. So that's another thing. That's mandatory. So that's like a no deal. If they don't have a car or a license, we don't hire them, right?
Yeah.
That they're available between the hours of like 8:30 and 3:30. Most of our staff right now, they have kids. It's a good job when you have kids if you can work between those hours. So that too, like we don't let anyone come in and say, "Well, I'm only available from 12 to 4." Like, we no longer accommodate them. They have to be able to fit into our here's what the job is, here's what the hours are, can you do that type of deal. So that was a game changer for us. So there was that Zoom interviews. Then so we do our Zoom interview is our first interview and then we do a second in-person interview. I don't hire right off the bat. They go through a process. I also have found that when we do that, there's a greater chance of them actually showing up and taking the job. When we were just doing one interview, 50% of the people we would hire just wouldn't take the job. So I don't know if that's a psychological thing. So that happened. We did that. And then our onboarding process looks a lot different than it did in the beginning because I didn't have an onboarding process in the beginning, right? Like I'm sure like you went through the same thing. You just were like, sure, you're hired. When can you start? Come on, I'll show you how to clean. Now we have a whole entire system. Like, here's onboarding. Here's here's the mission statement. Here are the core values. Welcome to Mayberry. We have a whole entire process. So to them, we look like a reputable company that's going to pay regular paychecks and things like that. I remember in the beginning, when I didn't have any of these systems in place, people would be so nervous that if they worked a week and they didn't like it, that we weren't going to pay them. And I'm like, I would never do that. Ethically, I would never have someone come to work, but it's because early on, my company wasn't set up to look like a real company. Now it's a beautiful website, the marketing's in place, testimonials, Google reviews, all that stuff matters because people never think of it like this. When you're placing an ad for help, they're looking at you like it's almost like a sales, right? So like when you're placing an ad on Indeed or whatever, you're placing an ad to attract the perfect employee and you have to work for that. You can't just hire anyone. You can't just hire bodies. So I almost look at it like, okay, I'm going to put my best foot forward so I can attract the right people that are going to be best for the company. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 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 We don't, because that goes back into, like you said, like you're selling them that you're a good fit, right?
Correct.
For them to have a job. I mean, that's where people spend a lot of their life in, right? Is it a job? So your job needs to be presented in a way where we want you here. If you're a good fit, we want you to stay with us for long term. And there is a process for that. And I want to dissect a few things that you mentioned. because you were saying that you have one of the qualifications is to make sure that they have a car, right? What do you think about companies having company vehicles?
So we have a mix. We have a few company vehicles, and then some of our staff likes to drive their cars. We do have a couple people that don't drive or that don't actually, let me rephrase this. We do have everyone has their license. So we had one of our girls got in a car accident, is in the middle of getting a car. Now she's using the company car. So we have a mix of both because some of my staff, they're just more comfortable driving their cars and we just let it. I pick my battle with my staff. I'm like, you want to drive your own? No problem.
Yeah.
That's
I'm a
handle that.
huge yeah, I'm a huge believer of the don't give your cleaners any company cars because
Yep,
they're expensive, the wear and tear. I had a couple company cars in the past where my employees will drive them, and if you don't have someone to look into the maintenance of the vehicle and things like that, I had 2 cars, which it was wild, that back to back, the one of the engines blew out. The radiator on the other one was horrible. Long story short, those 2
yeah,
cars cost me so much money to fix. It was such a headache until I got mentorship, and my mentor said, "You should not have any
right,
company cars. You hire people that have a vehicle, and then you pay them for them to drive their
correct,
vehicle," right?
yeah.
We
We
do
did
have
that. We pay them with the girls that drive their own cars, we pay them, but then we did like a we have a couple trucks for power washing, bright power wash, so we wrap those and then we wrap the cars. That goes into I kinda like the cars and the trucks driving around town because we get a lot of business from that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's that too. So we have a couple cars, we have a couple trucks, and then the other girls drive their own cars. So we have a mix.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I have my people now, pressure washing business, right?
Mm,
Things with big equipment, you gotta have a truck. You gotta
yeah,
have, right, those things. But I have the few cars that I do have, that's for my field supervisor, so you can go out there
yep,
and do the estimates and check the quality control. And then I have a field trainer, this person that trains our new people. Her perk or their perk
yeah.
is they get a company car
Yeah, that's
because
good.
they get to drive right and then they can fill in for quality control visits as needed and stuff like that. So I have a couple company cars specifically for people that have more responsibilities, and I think that that gives our cleaners also the opportunity to say, hey, like if I like I can grow here. I have the opportunity to grow and be able to get more benefits from the business.
Are you uncertain about what you're doing in your cleaning business that's not taking you to the next level? Or you might feel like what you're doing is not the right things. It is okay. That's why I'm here. I help cleaning business owners just like you get the right answers, put good systems and processes to grow your business with confidence. Without confidence, you cannot be a business owner and lead your people. Click the link down below to schedule a free call. We'll talk all business and I can give you the right steps for you to take to give you that confidence back. I cannot wait to connect with you.
Business.
That
Right. So if you're a business owner that thinks that you need all of these company cars to be able to be successful in your cleaning business, that is completely incorrect.
mm,
You should have your cleaners drive their own vehicle, and whenever you have your employee agreement, one of the things that are on there need to be that they're going to keep their car clean and presentable. They're also going to have insurance, and they're going to have their insurance is going to be active, and they're going to show it to you every 90 to
is
every
right.
every 3 to 6 months, right? But it works great, right? You just pay them a little bit more and they can deal with
It's
the
fine.
maintenance and stuff like that.
And I
Right.
think it has to come down to it also comes down to they're expensive, right? I've known companies that have 10, 12 cars. I don't want to pay for 10, 12 car payments and insurance. Like that's a lot of liability. That's a lot of upkeep, oil changes, tires, all that stuff. So we did like years ago, we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have all these cars drive around town? Like it's cool in theory,
Yeah.
but is it necessary? It's not really
Correct.
necessary. Yeah.
It's not. I would rather use that $500 payment towards advertising.
Right, yeah.
Right, everything's on the internet, so, yeah,
Thing.
people drive around and they can see your car, great, but if it's not catchy, if it's not presentable, then it's just a waste, right? Also, too, like, to my experience of what I've heard, like when people get into accidents, many times like I'm not gonna say they crash into a company car, but it's just a bigger process. It's a bigger liability to
Yes.
have all of that headache, right? It's a headache. So I would say instead of spending those $500 on a new car, just get it, put it into advertising, and you'll get more eyes on your business there.
Agreed.
I want to dissect your onboarding process a little bit because as we're talking about hiring, right? You do group interviews. Is that what you were mentioning, the group interviews?
Sometimes we do group interviews. Sometimes I just do like a solo one. I don't have it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I do the same. I do the same. When I want to hire 3 to 4 people, I do group interviews. And then I do my interview, I pick the people that I want, and then I do a one-on-one interview after that. But take us into your onboarding process. You found the gem in the interview. What is your process from there? Your head, you're like, okay, this person is a value match. This person has experience in cleaning. Perfect. Like this person is a good fit. What are your steps from there until they're done with their
Right.
training?
Okay, let's say I do that first Zoom interview. I think, okay, this is a good person. I get them in the office. We have an office, of course. We didn't always have an office, but we have one now. And let me just mention that I think that when you have an office, it's a game changer for the way your company is looked at.
1000%.
That's what I've found. I've interviewed in Panera Bread, in Starbucks. It is not as effective than having an office. Right.
I'm with you. I'm 100%. I love that you say that because people get and it's great. It's fine if you have a storage unit and you have your supplies there. You had
Position.
like that's fine to start off, but if you want to play the real game of business, if you want to grow your business, especially when you want to have more than 10 employees, you don't want to have them come to your house. It doesn't look like you take your business seriously. Okay,
Right.
that's what I think. And then yeah, if you have them go into a storage unit and pick the stuff out, it doesn't give you the opportunity to brand the area so that they can constantly see your values. They can constantly, what about events, meetings, right?
Mhm.
Like everything. So I love that you said that because I'm a huge believer of having an office and we just got a new office. So I'm super stoked about it. And we're like branding the crap out of it so that
Yeah.
they feel like you're in the stadium. Like this is your
Yeah.
headquarters. This is where you are. This is how serious we take it. And they love it. So sorry for cutting you
No,
off.
no, it's fine. So, and people hate the people that I coach hate when I say when I say that. I'm like, listen, I'm like, you want to step into the big boy lane and make over, 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand a month. I'm like, you need an office, and I can speak from experience. So let me take you back. So I do that first Zoom interview. They're great. I immediately get them to the office for a second interview. So I don't tell them they're hired yet. I do have them bring a couple forms of ID. So they come. I want to see how and you guys may laugh at me, but I want to see how they present themselves. I want to see how they're dressed for the interview. I want to see what their hair looks like. Are they walking in the interview in slides? Right. So
Mm,
those are all things I look at because it's a good representation of how they're going to show up to work and how they're going to walk into your client's house. They're a representation of your company. So they have to present well. They come in, if they pass that test, I ask them if they have any questions. I usually do. I go over what a typical day looks like. So there's no surprises. You come to the office, you wait for your team leader, you go out with your team leads and things like that. So, and I tell them the whole entire process. So let's say I hire that person, I do the paperwork, I do all the app uploads, I get them into the system. We do a 3-day working interview and I explain that in the interview. So working interview looks like you're going to come in, you're going to go out with a team leader for 3 days, you're going to do, a couple of houses and you're going to see if you like it. Because if you hire people that don't have cleaning experience, they have no idea how physical it is.
yep.
And we've hired people that have said, "Oh, I love to clean. I clean all day, blah, blah." And then after the end of
Yeah.
3 days, this one particular woman was like, "This is so hard. I don't think this is the right fit." That's why we do a working
Yeah.
interview, see Are you a right fit for us? Are we a right fit for you? If they say, I hate it, I don't like it, we say, not a problem. We write them a check. Don't run it through payroll because you can do that. If you pay under $600, you don't have to run it through payroll, right? So write them a
Right.
check, no problem. If they like it, then we onboard them into the payroll system. And then I start, going through the whole process from there. So that's helped us. The 3-day working interviews helped us a lot.
I like that a lot. I do. It gives you the opportunity to try them out, right? And I think when you are transparent in the beginning in the interview, hey, we would love to give you a chance and try you out. This is not a hiring. This is not like we're not giving you the job right away. We gotta, this is our process. I think it sets it up because yeah, I've heard the same thing. I love cleaning. I clean my house all the time. I'm sure
Mhm.
many of you have heard the same thing. And in the beginning, when you're first starting, it gets you excited because you're like, oh, okay, this person knows how to clean. They love cleaning all that. But it's a different game, right? It's a professional cleaning position, and cleaning your house is one thing. This is another.
Well,
Right.
and I think, and you'll probably agree with me with this, when you're interviewing someone, they're on their best behavior. They're putting their best foot forward.
Hmm.
They're saying their best buzzwords to attract you to hire them. So you really don't know if they're a good cleaner until you see if they can clean.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and you'll know instantly, like you said, if they're going in and did you say slides? You said
yes,
slides?
because that's
You just go
happened before.
yeah, for sure. Slides and they don't look presentable, they have, like, a T-shirt on, and, I mean, first presentation, like,
Oh, yeah.
matters, right? And as much as we don't want to judge, we have to take that into consideration of how we hire, right? And you can totally do, a list, right? You can be like, "Okay, I've had 10 people come in, 5 people with T-shirts, 5 people look presentable and they look well." Out of those 10, how who worked out? And you can do your data and go from there so that you don't feel bad that you're judging. But at the end of the day, it is a job, it is a professional position.
Yeah.
And I think as business owners, we set the tone. So if you set the tone that that's okay, then the way you do one thing, you do everything, you'll start doing the same thing for other decisions. So it's important that hey, I'm strict, I'm professional, I like things this way, and that's it. As long as your job post, your job descriptions show you got to look presentable, you got to come in and look professional. We're looking like if you have the professional language when they show up, if they're not that, then they didn't read the description. They didn't get
Correct.
and they're
Yeah.
not a good fit, right? So, like I said, you got to let your systems do the hiring, got to let your systems do the firing because if not, you get into you just make a lot of mistakes, man. People are people.
I just think, and this is gonna, this is how I look at it. As business owners, we're allowed to judge to a certain extent because they're representing our company.
I'm with you.
So if they don't fit the mold, they don't fit the mold. No hard feelings. There's other jobs out there, but and they're going into your clients' homes. So they
Yeah.
have to they're representing you. I don't let anyone work without a uniform shirt on, so they have to have, it says a uniform shirt, it says the name of the company. But what happens if they go to a house and clean and the homeowners aren't there, but I don't know, the niece is there or someone else is there and someone plain clothes is coming into the house? Like that could be scary for someone's. They have to represent the company. So all day long, they have to fit the mold, and you don't have to feel bad. And I think a lot of owners, they feel bad. Well, shouldn't have this on. And like you said, they let everything slide, and then before you know it, they're showing up with their daughter to clean for the day, and you're like, why would you? You can't bring your daughter on a job. That's happened.
Yeah, 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 yeah. After so many hires, I mean, currently we have 31 cleaners. After hiring so many people and seeing people come and go, please, please listen that the way you do one thing, you do everything. That interview sets the tone. And you can't make decisions based off of emotion. It has to be based on your system. Okay. Let me save you so many headaches. And so many things that are possible to
Oh, yeah.
ruin your reputation, things they don't care, right? They don't care about your business as much as you do. So you have to do your diligence to make sure that the right people come in. No, Cheryl, I really want to, now that we're like talking about the hiring process and the onboarding process, let's tie it up with what's that hiring mistake you made that taught you something big? Like, do you have a story of a bad hire?
Oh God, I don't know. I will tell you, because this is funny, that I did interview someone once, or I interviewed two people. One lady interviewed, a Zoom interview in a bathrobe. That's non-negotiable. Do not go forward with some of the interviews in the bathroom. And the second girl interviewed lying down in her bed and had the phone up like this. I cut it. I didn't even go for the interview. I just said, I said, are you lying in bed? Because I couldn't
Yeah.
believe. And she's like, I am. And I said, I don't think this is the right fit for you. I cut it. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with this person, because this person didn't even have like she didn't even take the effort to get out of bed. Like, who does a job interview from bed? I'm like, negative. You're not a fit for my company. So if you see something outlandish like that, that just seems off, just stop what you're doing and don't waste your time. So that sticks out in my mind. As far as people, like, I don't know. I don't really know, actually.
Which is good.
I can
Which is
say.
good. Which is good. I'll share mine because I do have
Sure.
I have a good one. I don't think I've shared it on my podcast yet. Man, this is horrible. I was talking about it yesterday.
If
Um,
you say something, it'll like click something in my mind.
okay. Well, I I hired based off of emotion and urgency. I
Yeah.
needed someone quick. I needed someone now because I had a couple clients that wanted to get an initial cleaning and I wanted to make money, right? Which is horrible too. Okay. It's best to say no and
Yeah.
hire the right way than hire out of urgency. And I'll tell you why. And hopefully this can scare you on not making decisions like that. I brought someone in. I threw him in with one of my good cleaners. This person, we did an interview. She was like, no, I have tons of experience. I love cleaning, all of that fancy talk. I was like, fantastic. You're a good fit. Let's do it. Can you start tomorrow? Fantastic. Here's your uniform. And this is where you're going to meet your trainer. Yeah, they went to that one client's house. And again, I didn't have an interview process based off of urgency. Well, she went into this reoccurring member's house and we call our clients members. And I get a call a couple days later from this client and was like, hey, so, I have this missing, I have that missing. And she was talking about jewelry. She was like, my rings are missing, I have necklaces that are missing.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into other things, but I'm having these things that are missing. And okay, my heart dropped. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hey, okay, I didn't know how to handle it at the time,
Of course,
but
it's scary.
it was so scary. So then she ended up calling me. She ended up calling us like 3 days in a row, and she had a list of jewelry that was missing from her home. So here I'm freaking out. I go to her house. I talk to this lady. Her husband had just passed away months ago. All of the jewelry that was missing was jewelry that he gave her. She was in her 70s, elderly lady, lived a long life.
Yeah.
And she has proof. She has pictures. She
Oh, yeah.
showed all of the pictures of the jewelry that she was wearing, where it was at. Long story short, this person, when I had a conversation with them and I said, hey, okay, this is what happened. I had a conversation with both people that were there at the house. Separately, I had them write what they did in the job. I had them record. I recorded them talking about what they did because obviously my insurance wanted to know all these things. Long story short, once she gave me that recording, she did not show up the next day.
Of course she didn't. It was guilty. Right.
Calling her, um,
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
work out. The sheriffs came and they're like, "Hey, like, can we have the address and stuff like that?" And I was like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna do my part as much as I can to help this lady out." I gave
Right.
the address. It went. Apparently, she didn't live in that home.
Oh,
It was so horrible. So at the end, it was about over $50,000 of jewelry. And my insurance said, because we don't have proof of video proof,
they wouldn't cover it.
they didn't
Oh my
cover it.
God.
I felt so bad. So I had to work it out with the lady as best as I could. So hopefully that bad hiring story, that nightmare story will change your hiring process, your onboarding
Okay,
process.
so I'm gonna piggyback off that. So I had a coaching client last year, from in Texas, leave her name out. Amazing, amazing girl. And she was desperate to hire. And there had been a woman that had been bugging her to hire her. And she's like, please just take me. I'll work any hours. And then she was begging her to work for her for over a year, but she didn't have the right paperwork to work. And I train everyone, since you want to put everyone on payroll, they need the right paperwork to work, right? You know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
So she didn't have it. So finally, my client was desperate and gave in and said, okay, I'll pay you cash. Come on, I need someone today. And she takes this woman in, and same thing. The first house they went to, $1,000 diamond tennis bracelet went missing. And then there was another house and it went missing. And then they tried to find the lady, wasn't the right address. And then they found out that it was in some sort of underground operation where all of these house cleaners were going into people's houses and stealing things and bringing it back to some theft ring going on here on the right hand side. So my staff member, and I thought this was kind of funny in the beginning, but she was so panicked that she put body cameras on all of her cleaning staff. And they started to go into people's houses and had body cameras. She was lucky that the lady that had the bracelet didn't press charges, was totally understanding. And she was, my client treated the situation like priority and nothing ever happened. And the lady kept her, didn't even fire her and said, I know it's not your fault. So, but when you don't vet your people, when you don't do the right system, like you talk about, like I ask in the interview, is there anything that will show up on a background check that I need to know about? So
Mm.
that's a psychological play because I'm looking to see if they're honest, because you can't put dishonest people in people's homes with belongings. So if there's anything in the background, they usually will tell me. So theft is we're never hiring you. I don't care if it was small larceny, whatever it was, just can't hire. Things like maybe a domestic, maybe a DUI, maybe an isolated incident is different because we're all human and things happen, and maybe you had a fight with a boyfriend or whatever. Those things are fine. But any theft or anything, above that, any serious crime, we just don't hire them because they're in people's houses. So
Correct, correct.
yeah,
Yeah, it's our responsibility to take care of their home. I'm with you on that.
that's
Yeah,
good.
that's yeah, so I hope this really brought the attention to the right person, that when you do have a good hiring process, you do your part, right? Are things
Yeah.
gonna happen? They could happen. If you do your best, you do your part, you take care of your business, you won't feel guilty at the end if something does happen, right? You did your part. Now we have the hiring, we have the employees, they go through the onboarding, they're a good fit. Now they're out in the field, they've been with you for, a handful of months. How do you handle I really want to go through a few questions on how do you retain your people. Okay.
Okay.
What are those things that you do to make sure that you handle on performance early? Like, what are those steps that you take?
So going back to what I said, when your company looks like a real company, that's going to help you a lot. Having an office, I'll say it again. I know everyone hates me. Having an office is going to help you because I'll give you my example. Our staff comes to our office Monday through Friday, every single day. They see each other. We have a break room. There's coffee. There's all that stuff. Believe it or not, those simple things build company culture because it allows them to get to know each other. Half of my staff, they've been friends for years. They hang out like their families and stuff like that. So those small things, like making sure you have their favorite creamer in the refrigerator, making sure you have that. This week we have coffee, cake, and ice cream in our refrigerator. Just like simple things like that, that will help them. And then they get used to seeing the same people all the time. So people stay at companies because they like the scope of work. So they like to clean. They like their bosses. So you can't be a jerk. And they like who they work with. Right. So that people will stay at a job longer, I feel, if they like who they work with and they're familiar with the job and it's just easy. It's an easy process. So that will help a lot. For company culture, we do a beach party. We do a Christmas party. This week I'm doing Valentine's stuff. I have all gifts for them that I got to make up. So little things like that. I have noticed that when we do all that stuff, I mean, I've had people with me as long as 7 years.
Wow.
In the cleaning industry, that is really hard. And I'm telling you, I work extremely hard at keeping them happy and keeping them liking the job, making them feel like they're supported. So if there's ever a complaint or anything like that, I know how to handle it correctly where I'm not making them feel bad. So I use this theory. I use this in coaching where it's called the reverse Oreo cookie. So let's just say there was a mistake, there was a breakage at a house. I will say, "Hi, Susan, whatever. You want to come in the office for a second? Just want to tell you, you did a fantastic job with this client. She was really happy, blah, blah, blah." I start with the cream first, right? I do a nice thing. I say, "You're doing an amazing job. Just want to bring this to your attention. There was a scratch on the microwave or the bathroom sink." So then I talk about the cookie, the not so nice stuff. And then I say, make sure you're using the right chemicals and equipment on this piece, on this appliance. And then I round it out with another compliment. So they don't really know that they've been reprimanded, so to speak. I do it in a nice way where they don't feel like I'm yelling at them or I'm mad or I'm being like, "You're doing a great job here. Here's what we need to work on." And you're doing a great job at the end. So they feel supported.
Mm,
That I've noticed the way that I talk to them. 'Cause so it's everyone that works for you, they're human beings. And you have to remember that. You have to talk to them like they're, a human being and that you're appreciative of them. That stuff has helped too, I think. But honestly, they like the scope of work, they like their bosses, and they like the people they work with because this job, a professional cleaner, isn't $100,000 figure. So they're not motivated by the money, right?
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Everything you said was golden, and it's exactly what we do as well. Those are my beliefs. You have the opportunity to create, as a business owner, to create an environment where people enjoy where they work, right?
Absolutely.
And you are in charge of building the culture. Once you get out of cleaning, you have a good hiring process, you could onboard people, you got good people in your team, you got clients. Like when things are going good, now you can really start having fun on doing the events, having a coffee machine, getting really to
Yeah.
get to know your people, because that is actually, I think, one of the most important things as a business owner as we should do is like care about your people. I wrote down right here Valentine gifts. I'm gonna buy my people some
Which is
Valentine gifts.
Oh, it's candy. It's maybe a $10 like Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Or it's like it's simple, but when you say Happy Valentine's Day on a Friday and they all have little gift bags, I have all females working for me, so that's not going to work for a male the same way. It's going to be a little bit different, but for
Yeah.
females, the fact that you took the time out of your day to go and do that makes them feel appreciated, and they will work harder for you.
Yeah. So business owners that are males, we need to write
You
that
need
down.
something else. I don't think you want
Okay.
candy. You'd want something else, right? How would you do that? Do you
Well,
do
I'm cool with getting a donut, like you said, right? Something
That's
if it's
fine.
something specific for me,
Yeah,
I would say yeah, like a donut, a gift card.
anything.
If you know that your employee likes to golf or a sport, right? You can get something small.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is like as a business owner, as a male business owner,
yeah.
we have to listen to what you just said because I also have 95% women. So we have to also do those little things for them because you guys appreciate that stuff. So if we as male owners, we can come in and we can show you that type of detail of hey, this is how we care about you. I think that transcends to your relationships and stuff like that. If you can do that to your teams, right? But yeah, it gives you the opportunity to show them that you care. This
Mhm.
is a great environment for you to work in. You're going to be appreciated. You're going to be loved. There's going to be events,
Right.
and people like that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
We really do. I always think like I create an environment that I would like to have if I worked for somebody.
100%. Right.
That's how I do
Exactly.
it. That's how
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, we have a pizza place right next door. So
Yeah.
on Fridays, get some pizza, put a little sign, "Hey guys, take a slice home."
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're coming back to the office hungry, tired, and if
Yeah.
there's pizza or something, like, it just gives them a reason to be like, "I love it here, I like it here."
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
cleaning, okay,
exactly.
cool, it was a tough day, I cleaned 3 houses today, there was a lot of dog hair, all of
I'm
that stuff.
playing around.
But I get a pizza when I come back. I get a little gift. The company does these little events and it makes it interesting. So yeah, I agree with you. Now, you don't need to get a big office when you start.
Oh,
I got my first office 4 years into my business, and it was like 1,000 square feet. I had a place to put my equipment for my cleaners to put their equipment, and then a little lounge area. I had my little office, and that was it. It was until this last year where we transitioned to like almost a 4,000 square feet place, and now we get to do bigger things and bigger space. 31 cleaners, you got to have a place to throw a
oh,
party.
yeah. So it takes a while, and that's one thing I wanna mention is that don't get too bogged down. Do what you can in the beginning when the budget allows it. So if you're making 10,000 a month, okay, you're gonna live within a $10,000 a month budget. When you're at 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, whatever, you can
Yeah,
do more. So don't get too, bogged down with, "Oh my god, I don't have enough money to do that." You wanna do it in stages,
yeah, yeah.
to
I'm
grow.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%. I do want to add as well too on the part that because it was very, very important. This is something that I talk about in my meetings all the time because it really makes a difference with the team members when they're out there working together. You
Yeah.
said that there's a way to give them feedback, right? Without being
Yeah.
mean. There's a structured way. And if I heard you correctly, and this is what I teach my teams, like, think about it, ladies, like, you guys are working together, okay? You guys are working really hard to clean this home. And if Casey goes and checks Maria's work and Casey tells Maria, hey, you missed this, you missed that, and you missed this, and then you leave,
It's awful.
Maria worked so hard
Oh,
to
yeah.
get that to clean that as best as she could, and then you're coming in and you're putting a turd into her performance, right? You're like, "You missed this, you missed that, you missed that." Now I get it. You're in the zone, you wanna get this house done,
Get out of the
so
house. Yeah.
right, you wanna get out of the house, so the best thing to do is, "Hey, you need to fix this," and they might not mean it in a bad way, right? But it doesn't work because they're talking down on each other, not purposely. Some people kinda do, they're, very direct, but they need to bring each other up. So, what I teach my teams is, "Look, if you're gonna go check Maria's work, I want you to first point out what she did well.
Yeah. Yep.
Point out what she did well first, and then let her know how the cleaning can be improved, and then conclude it with, once she's done doing those things, she's good to go."
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
And when you guys do that to each other, you guys now work as a team and you guys feel good about your work and you don't feel like your work is not being appreciated because that's how they want to feel, right? Like I
Yeah.
did when I cleaned toilets, when I cleaned bathrooms, kitchens, all of this stuff, like I was just so excited for the client to be like, "Oh my God, this place looks fantastic." Right? But if the teams do it within each other and they have like this is a standard, they're always going to be on that high. They're always going to feel appreciated, even when they're tired, even when they're not having a good day. Just with a team member coming in and saying, hey, like, great job. Hey, let's do this together. Hey, like, these are only things here and coaching each other. It just brings up morale. Like, what would you add to that?
Cleaning Journey podcast is brought to you by Jobber, the all-in-one CRM built for service pros. From scheduling and payments to quoting and marketing, Jobber makes it simple to manage your business and impress your clients. I use it every day and it's one of the biggest reasons my business runs smoothly. Try Jobber today with the link in the description down below. Try Jobber today by using the link down below. You can get 14 days free, then 20% off for the next 6 months. You have nothing to lose.
So That's a really good point because it's easier for us to do that reverse Oreo cookie thing because we're owners and stuff. But I have all my teams. We do teams of two and solo, so all of my teams go out with a team leader. So when you're training the team leader, that's even more difficult because you need to teach the team leader to do the same thing.
Mm, yeah.
And so, and some team leaders have every team leader that I have has a different personality. I have some that are quiet. I have some that are loud and boisterous and what want to have a good time. I have all different types. So they train a little bit different. So I teach and I tell everyone that I hire, I'm like, you're gonna go out with Susan today, our team leader. Her goal is to make sure when the two of you leave the house looks perfect and everything was done completely. If she finds something that you might need to redo, it's only for the good of the whole, which is making sure the client is happy. So I explained to them, this is not because we're telling you you did a bad job. And I say, everyone has a bad day. And I say, when I was in the field, I would miss things. So I bring myself down on their level. And I'm just like, it is just, you guys are going to work together. Maybe Susan's going to miss something that you're going to see. You point it out and you guys work it out. And the goal is to make sure that the client is happy and you leave, there's no complaints and you get a tip. So that works when you tell them the reasons why your leaders are doing something or the reason why I'm doing something. And I haven't had a problem since we've done that for the most part. Yeah. And not
I like
everyone
that.
team leaders either. Not everyone has it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. In my company, everybody has the same responsibility. Everybody is a team lead. Everybody has a responsibility of making sure the job is correct. I like both models.
Yeah.
The model that just worked for us was, hey, this is how, because we pay all of our cleaners based on their performance.
Yeah.
So everybody is pretty much accountable of their own pay, but also accountable of making sure that the job is done right, and then we just give them strategies like this, right? But the biggest thing that we also have to do is train our people to how to communicate with each other, right? That's kind of that's what we're discussing here, because you can do the interview process, do all of your thing, do the onboarding, everything else, and then what if this person doesn't really like? What if someone telling them like, "Hey, you need to fix this, you need to fix that," kind of wears them down, and they're like, "Well, I don't
Yeah.
feel like I'm really doing a good job here.
They'll leave.
I don't think I'm a good fit." So, and then they kind of just talk themselves out of quitting. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
yeah.
and that's a process. Okay. That's a process. As long as we know how to communicate with our people first, our people will get that from us. And then we're the example. At the end of the day, as business owners, we set the tone. Okay. So when we set the tone, they will know here, these are the core values, and this is what we go out of. So, off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I do want to end it with this one with the one question for you. If there's a cleaning business owner listening right now who's still in the field, okay, still figuring things out and wondering if it's even worth it, right? Like, is it worth continue doing this? I'm having a hard time hiring. I'm having a hard time getting clients. I'm having a hard time doing business. What would you tell them about staying consistent and not giving up?
So consistency, if you don't have consistency, you will not be able to build any type of business. You should just go get a job, right? So,
Yeah.
um, consistency and discipline is key because you're not always going to have good days. I don't always have good days in my cleaning business. I'm sure you don't always have good days either. There's always things. So you just have to learn how to go with the flow. Some days you're going to have great days and you're going to feel on top of the world. It's like that entrepreneurial high. Someday you're going to have low days and you're going to want to quit. We all go through it. Just know you just need to stay the course because the next day is going to be better. It always is,
Yeah.
right? You sleep on it 24 hours later. It always is. And you always need to remember you just need to keep getting back up because they're not
Mm,
failures. They're just little bumps in the road. Like you're learning. Anytime I had an issue, back when I was building, I would say, okay, this happened. I need to create a system to fix it. And so that's what I would do. I would learn from all my little bumps in the road and I would create another system, create another, standard operating procedure, create something to fix that issue. As a CEO, you're always putting out fires, you're always fixing something, and you get used to being that person that just goes into fix mode. So that
Correct.
will happen if you don't give up.
Correct. Correct. I agree with you. I say just wake up every day and just put one step forward and just give it another shot. Just do it again, right? Just do it again. There was a time, a season where I wanted to sell my business legit 12 times in 3 months
Oh, yeah.
because I was so tired and sick and tired of having people not taking accountability of themselves, of their actions. I didn't have values at the time. I didn't have, the hiring process set up. So I wanted to sell my business because I was so burnt out. So I'm with you. Like I just woke up every single day. I just gave it my best. And I put myself in an operator mindset. So I am in charge of how the business operates. What do I need to do to not get this situation happening again, right? What can I do to fix this? And then you just kind of trial and error, try and error. Guys, Cheryl and myself didn't just wake up and know how to build a business. We took the time. We woke up every day. We stressed out. We wanted to pull our hair out, but we kept waking up and we kept just putting one step forward and thinking, what do we need to do now to make tomorrow better?
Correct.
Right. Right. So, Cheryl, I appreciate you so much. This was great.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Now,
Good, good.
can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Okay, so my coaching group, Sisters Who Scale, I have a group on Facebook. I also have a YouTube page that I'm streaming live from. So you can just Google my name, the YouTube will come up. And I also have a podcast called Maids Who Made It, where I do sort of like the Rocky Balboa of cleaning industry podcasts, right? We keep getting hit and we keep getting back up. So I have guests on that tell their stories, being in being in the trenches, wanting to give up and then getting back up, and then now they have success. So you can find me on the YouTube and on Facebook as well. So
Awesome.
I'm easy to talk to.
Yeah. And you were amazing. We're gonna definitely get you back on. There's so
All
much
right. Yeah.
value there that I know that
Sure.
you have, and so we'll be putting the links down below so that you can check Cheryl out. Other than that, thank you guys for listening to the cleaning journey. I hope you got some value today on hiring, the onboarding process, and how to be a leader in your business. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
If you got value out of this episode and you took some notes, that is fantastic. You're one step closer to success. Now, do me a favor and share it with another cleaning business owner so that we can all learn together. My goal is to bring real stories from real cleaning business owners so that we can grow this industry together. So if you'd like that, please like and share, and I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next episode.